Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mailbox for the 31st of May 2011. My name is Totalbiscuit, bringing you your daily podcast of community interactions, questions, discussions, and all that good stuff. The game in the background, as you can probably imagine, is my guilty pleasure, the one and only Call of Duty Black Ops. As you can see, I don't tend to play it optimally. I actually prefer just to muck about, which is why the footage in the background will be of dual pistols and dual scorpions, neither of which are particularly good, but they are much, much more enjoyable than sitting in a corner with a FAMAS. You can email into mailbox@cynicalbrit.com, that is mailbox@cynicalbrit.com, with your email topics for future shows. First email comes in from Florian that says, and is conveniently about Call of Duty. Having read the most recent news about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, I was wondering if Blizzard Activision CEO Bobby Kotick was heavily into doing drugs, until I realized that the idea of a monthly subscriber fee for Modern Warfare 3 to support complex stats and maps is quite in line with what Blizzard does with WoW, i.e. server transfers. Now, I do see a lot of people complain about it, but I fear that there will be enough lambs out there who will gladly pay those $7.99 US a month, thus adding up to an extra total of $95 a year for Modern Warfare 3 for that extra support. What are your thoughts on this if you've actually heard of it? Well, honestly, it does come down to it being a buyer's market. The name of the service is Call of Duty Elite, and while I play a little bit of Call of Duty every now and again, I can't imagine myself paying for something like that because I don't care. The irony, I suppose, of the whole thing is how you'll often find a lot of Call of Duty players that will, say, refer to StarCraft as a nerds game, and then will happily buy this service which gives them vast numbers of spreadsheets about their exact damage and stats and things like that, and that sounds incredibly nerdy to me. Whatever the case, it comes down to the fact that people will subscribe to it. Yes, it is very similar to the stuff that's been added to World of Warcraft, but I have to point out that I believe that the stuff in World of Warcraft is worse, and the reason is because you already pay a subscription fee, and they're asking you to pay additionally on top of that. Whereas with Call of Duty, you buy the game, and then, of course, there's usually about 2 map packs, which are absurdly overpriced, same reason I haven't actually bought any of them, and then that's about it. So, I can't imagine it being worthwhile for $8 a month. It seems absurd. And you're also talking about the possibility of adding new maps in for elite-only subscribers. That's dumb as hell, because then you start to segment the community over and over and over again, and you split it down, and that's good. You don't want to be splitting your community like that, even if you are as popular as Call of Duty actually is. This one comes in from Captain British, and he says, on Monday's Mailbox, you were discussing how digital distribution and the like. Where's the rest of that sentence? Okay, now I've always been an advocate of digital distribution, as from what I understand, it generally provides the game's developer with a larger chunk of the game's profits, with less of it going to publishers, manufacturers, and retailers, and so forth. However, there has always been one thing I don't understand, and that is why in most cases we actually have to pay more for a digital copy of the game when compared to a retail copy. A good example of this would be my Witcher 2 Premium Edition. It cost me £25 from game, and came with a game guide, a map, an odd letter, 2 pre-snipped paper craft dolls, a bonus making-of DVD. However, looking at Steam, the digital premium version actually cost £35 for the exact same content, but in a digital format. The same problem crops up with nearly every new video game release. Steam tends to charge around £30 on average for new releases, but can sometimes get up to extremes of £40, whereas most retailers charge about £25 with rare extremes of 30 to 35 physical copies of the game. It makes it incredibly hard to justify buying the game digitally, even if more profits are going to the developers, when I'm actually having to pay more for the game while getting less for my money. Surely the Steam version should be cheaper, or at least the same price. What is the reasoning behind charging more for a digital version of the game when actually you get far less for your money? Okay, so this is kind of speculative, but it is based on solid fact. So my belief as to why this is because, one, the digital distribution platform does not set the price of the game. The sales they put on have to be run by the publisher first. So what you get is a situation where on all major digital platforms, the publisher has control of the price, not the actual platform itself. So, why is that? Why do they have the same? Well, one, they want to make more money, and this is the most important thing. They don't want to piss off brick-and-mortar retailers yet. I remember reading about this a little while ago, and I have to say I can't cite any actual evidence for it, so take it as speculation. And what happened was that if publishers tried to sell it online at a lower price on a digital platform, then the brick-and-mortar retailers would threaten to stop stocking the game. And right now, a lot of people still buy their games in brick-and-mortar stores. In fact, an awful lot of people do. So the risk is that if you piss them off too much, then they'll stop stocking your product, and that's very easy to do with, say, PC games. So publishers are really wary about that. When it comes to sales, well, that's a different matter entirely, because of course brick and mortar does sales as well, and there's no problem doing a sale on a digital platform either. However, digital platforms can't undercut retail, and that's as a result of this threat. We're talking about big, and I do mean big, companies like Amazon, like Walmart, like Game, like GameStop. Those are the guys who will turn around and say, no, you cannot do that. And if you do, we will stop stocking your title. And it hurts us less than it hurts you. Trust me on this. And that's the problem. Once again, Steam, Gamersgate, and places like that can only charge what they are told to charge. They cannot simply set the price themselves. They are not allowed. This one comes in from Sysint or something along those lines. Says, hey, Totalbiscuit, that's not how you spell my name. I watch videos on YouTube of people playing games. Yes, I know it's weird, but I find watching StarCraft 2 more entertaining than actually playing the game. Do you also watch videos of anyone playing various video games you're interested in? And do you find this odd that people watch videos over playing them? No, I don't find it odd at all, and the reason is that people also watch sports and don't play them, even though they have the ability to do so. I'm not talking about motorsports or anything like that. I'm talking about football, soccer, tennis, things that are easy to play. They would prefer to just watch them. Games have the same thing going for them, especially when they have a multiplayer competitive side of things. I prefer watching StarCraft 2 to playing it. I am very honest and open about that. I view StarCraft 2 as a sport. When it comes to single-player games, I generally won't watch them unless there's something extremely good about the Let's Play in question, which is, let's be honest, that's what it is. For an example, for instance, would be Research Indicate's playthrough of Jurassic Park Trespasser, which is a game I would never think of playing, but it was presented in such a fantastic way that it was totally worth watching. As regards to who else I watch, I generally just watch Yogscast. Honestly, Yogscast is highly entertaining. I don't play Minecraft all that much. I don't have any interest in playing multiplayer Minecraft, but I'll happily watch Yogscast play Minecraft because they present it in a very unique way. I also, every now and again, oddly enough, will watch either Bad Company 2 commentaries or Call of Duty commentaries because I simply enjoy watching those games played at a high level. It's as simple as that. It's enjoyable. And if I can find a good commentator, then I might watch them every now and again. Muzza Fuzzer would be a prime example. I watch a lot of him. He's part of the Game Station, and he primarily does Call of Duty stuff as well as a bit of Mortal Kombat. And yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. If people enjoy it, it's just an extension of the hobby at the end of the day. It's like, well, I play video games, but I also watch other people play video games because I enjoy video games beyond the medium of simply playing them. I actually enjoy spectating them. They're enjoyable because they're presented in a particular way or because there is a certain high level of skill that I personally can admire and perhaps aspire to. As simple as that. Nothing wrong with it. This one comes in from Liam. It says, on the 30th of May's Mailbox, you addressed the problem with piracy and brought up the fact that gamers are beginning to drift away from consoles and towards the PC and Steam and GOG, etc. While I agree the PC is undoubtedly the best console in terms of graphics and controls, I think it's the case more that buying a decent gaming PC is so damn expensive nowadays. A PS3 or 360 will knock you down about £200, but from my understanding, if you want to have half-decent graphics on the PC, you're forced to dish out £600 or more. Consoles are just more accessible and a cheaper platform, and though developers might not like it, I think that buying second-hand games is about the cheapest way you can go. True, both Xbox Live and PSN are seen as having flaws. Live having the subscription fee not present with similar services, and PSN having had 3 weeks downtime from hacking. A little bit more than that, actually, I think. But people still use the services because while Steam and Gamersgate are very good, to be able to play a game to the standard a developer would want you to, and you personally want to, is very expensive on the PC. I don't think I'd be happy playing Crysis 2 on my PC, for example, as it wouldn't be the most graphically advanced game ever, which was one of its main selling points. I'm not trying to delve into console wars or anything, but on this front, I'd like to ask you whether you think consoles seem to cater to a more casual gamer, while PC is generally a more hardcore system for people who want the very best. Well, the thing is that everybody owns a PC. The problem is that not everybody owns a PC capable of playing the latest stuff, so it does make perfect sense as to why people would purchase games on a 360 or PS3. Then again, you're talking about the kind of people that want to play the latest and greatest. And either they're going to own a high-spec PC, which is of course expensive, or they're going to be buying their games on launch on a console because they want to play it first. Here's the thing, you don't have to game that way. I know an awful lot of people that don't. Lots of people don't jump on the bandwagon initially in the first day, and actually I think a lot more people are starting to come around to this way of thinking, simply because games are more often than not now released in unfinished states and are either unplayable or have bugs that significantly impede your ability to enjoy the game. So what you have is more and more people that will hold back and actually buy games later on. Now, that usually means that the game is more optimized, the drivers for the graphics cards are more optimized, the game is cheaper, or of course they've been able to upgrade to deal with it. And if you actually stay slightly behind the curve, you can game very cheaply. Now, not only in the case of the cost of the game, but in the cost of your actual parts. And it's a very good time to actually own a medium-spec PC at the minute. Price performance, especially with Sandy Bridge now actually working properly, is really, really great. And you've also got both of the major graphics card companies catering very heavily to this mid-range price performance market that seems to be emerging. And most of the people that play that, either they will play a latest game on, say, lower resolution, like, say, 720p, or they will play something that's slightly behind the curve, but still really impressive and awesome. And I think that's a really good way to game, and I would highly encourage people to do so. I think that that is going to start getting more and more popular. I don't know whether or not it's what developers and publishers want. I don't think so. I mean, obviously a publisher wants a full-price sale, but the thing is, I think they're coming around to realizing that they can also get significant sales after the fact on PC, and things on PC have a longer shelf life. Usually because of digital distribution, the games are always available as opposed to in a shop whereby they might simply be taken off the shelves because they're too old, and of course the fact that a lot of old games generally just get bought second-hand, so the revenue stream for the publisher disappears. On PC it doesn't, because of sales, because of the gradual knocking down of prices, and because of that consistent availability, and I might add because of modding. This is something that publishers have to get their heads around. The prevailing opinion for a long time is that modding is bad because it prevents people from buying future titles in that series, simply because they can already mod the old one to do what the new one does. Now, while this is a fairly valid point, you can also turn it around and say modding gives the game a longer shelf life on PC. It's the reason people are still buying Warcraft 3. They buy it to play custom maps. It's not because of the competitive scene anymore. They buy it to play Dota and Footman Frenzy and nonsense like that. And this has been happening for a very long time. Now, with the advent of digital distribution to the point where pretty much everyone who owns a PC has at least dabbled in the idea of buying games on a digital platform, it's the perfect time to turn around and say, well, actually, modding support means we can sell this same game for years, and we might not make as much money from each copy, but we'll make it up in volume. And it's cheaper to do because the manufacturing costs and things like that are completely taken out of the equation. So that's what I would say on that particular matter, and as a direct result of that, I think more publishers are going to be coming around to making more PC games and also having better quality ports for said games. There is a market there. It's a different kind of market from the console, and in the long run, it's actually a better one. Okay, folks, that's me done for the day. You can email in mailbox@cynicalbrit.com. That is mailbox@cynicalbrit.com with topics for future shows. I would just like to point out, as some people said, yes, there is a desync issue with one of the latest I Suck at StarCraft 2s. I Suck at StarCraft 2 is actually uploaded from Justin TV directly. I don't have any part in editing it or anything. So if there's a problem, it's either Justin TV or it was an issue that was happening yesterday with YouTube whereby nothing was processing properly, and that's the reason why the videos were so late. So I have a feeling that's probably something to do with it. Thanks for letting me know, though, and I will see you next time.